Hello everyone, it's Junie. I just wanted to give a quick update about Kyron Horman's natal chart and the last time that he was seen alive. This is on June 4th, 2010. This is just a quickie addition to the video that I already have out. So if you watch my first video, then add this to it, okay? So there's just something that I forgot to mention in Kirsty McIntosh's book. Again, this is Kirsty McIntosh's book, Criminal Astrology, Volume 1. You can buy this book on Amazon, and it really does help give you a better understanding of understanding astrology to help solve to find missing people, basically, to help find missing people, to solve crimes. It gives you an idea of what was happening with the suspect, and it gives you an idea of what was happening with the victim. So, on Kyron's natal chart, I explained a little bit yesterday with you guys about this is the 8th house of death, and this is the 12th house of unconsciousness and endings, okay? So, you know, if you think of these houses as a chapter in a book, first chapter, second chapter, this is the wheel of life, okay? And the wheel of life can explain how you die. And I know it's a taboo subject, and a lot of people don't want to look at their astrology like this, but it is here, okay? We are born to die. The minute that we are born into this world, we're born to die. We take that first breath, and that's one last breath for living, okay? So, I mean, it is part of the wheel of life and death. And like I said, I know this is a taboo subject, and a lot of people, they don't want to talk about it, but we look at the 8th house and the 12th house for how you're going to die. Now, I mentioned on the video yesterday that, or the day before, I can't remember when I posted Kyron's video, but with the 8th house, he has Saturn sitting there. And that is, I mean, you guys can Google this stuff for yourself. It's not like a tarot reading. This isn't a spirit box reading. This is what the planets mean. This is what the planets are saying, okay? And it tells us what's happening, how the people involved in his death, okay? And the moment that he's born at, Kyron is born September the 9th, 2002 at 12:26 p.m., the planets are already warning us that there is going to be a female in his life, because Cancer represents female, usually. It can, more than likely, a female influence. It's a feminine sign, and it's usually emotions, and it's somebody from your family. Your Cancers represent family. Cancers rule the 4th house. If you look up the 4th house, it means family, and usually can represent female matriarchs of your family, okay? So he has emotional abuse probably from a female matriarch in his family. Gemini is also in the 8th house on a cuspy here, so that also kind of tells us that he is going to suffer emotional abuse from somebody from within his own family, okay? And Gemini can mean from your father's side. That's a little bit of genealogy, getting into astrology. That's a whole other can of worms, but Gemini can mean somebody from a female from your father's side, not coming down from the mother's side. So, I mean, already Terry is showing up in the moment that he's born. We are showing emotional abuse. This also can mean a death from dehydration, because this is a water sign. So it means that water might actually be involved in his death. Could be dehydration. It could be drowning, okay? So these are things to consider when you look at somebody's natal chart with these, with a missing child. So, you know, in the back of my mind, I need to remember that water shows up in his house of death. Now, that could be, like I said, it could be water in a slip and fall on water. It could be water in the ocean. It could be water in a creek. It could be water in the bathtub, water in your shower. It could even mean water for, like, lack of water, all right? So that's kind of what gets it confusing when you're looking at natal charts, because water has many meanings to it for how you die, okay? I mean, it could even be that you fill up, like your lungs fill up with fluid. That is water, right? Like if you have pneumonia, your lungs fill up with fluid. or if you're drowning, your lungs, or if you have a drug overdose, right? Because of emotions. That kind of hints around too to water being involved in this child's death somehow, okay? So here we have in his last known location at the school. So that's the coordinates above the school. That is 8:45 a.m. June 4th, 2010, right? So his natal chart told me that there's going to be a matriarch woman in his life that is going to give him emotional abuse and possibly cause his death, because we have Scorpio in the house of endings on his natal chart, and Mars rules Scorpio, so I know that his death is going to be suspicious, full of anger and rage, and probably murder. We're looking at murder because Mars rules Scorpio in his house of endings, okay? There's Scorpio. Mars rules Scorpio. That usually means a violent death involved with anger and rage, okay? Now, this is his last known location. Already, I got Cancer showing up here again, which can mean water, okay? And it means a female, a matriarch in his family is involved in the 12th house of endings. So that's telling me the last person to be with Kyron when he's going unconscious is a matriarch female that is usually a mother or a stepmother, an aunt, a grandmother, something like that. That's what we're looking for. Already, that's what the suspect is, that's what the astrology is telling us what the suspect looks like, okay? Now, if you read Kirsty McIntosh's book, she gives a description of what our suspect looks like if they show up in the 7th house, or if they show up in the 12th or 8th house, 1st house, or 7th house. Even the 4th house, this can give you a clue of to what our killer is going to look like, all right? So the moon is ruling that house, so I know that I'm dealing with basically Cancer. If it's 15 degrees, they'd be short. They'd have a full body. That was more like Michael Vaughn's case. That Cancer showed near the 18th degree. So we're looking for someone that's not overly overweight. They kind of have a normal body. This is in 2010, what her body would look like in 2010. But she's not super skinny. She's got a full body, okay? So let me just try to pull it back so you guys can all see. Sorry, I'm really shaky and I'm doing this on my cell phone, but I wanted to share this with you so you guys know what the astrology tells us about what the killer looks like for Kyron, okay? The planets are trying to tell us what the killer looks like. So she's short in stature, 15 degrees because of more full body. Then before, the upper parts of the body are more thick than the lower. Disorder to the teeth, rounded pretty eyes, dark hair. Cancer on the 7th house cusp can show us a few things. Firstly, it can indicate the victim was taken by the suspect into the suspect's own territory. It can indicate female, okay? And I know we have a female because Venus is there. That's a female, right? One should not rule out mother, stepmother, aunts, or other women in the victim's life. So in Kyron's life, we already got the name stepmother showing up. We know it's a female right there because of Venus, all right? This is how the planets talk to us. And this is how specific it can get. This astrology can let you know if you were shot or punched in the left eye compared to the right eye. Whether you broke your left leg or that the killer hurt your right leg or broke your ankle. It will tell you this stuff. This is how clear it is. That's why it's so important to know this stuff, okay? All right, so with the moon ruling this house, it can also be a pale and whitely face mixed with but little redness on the cheeks, of an auburn hair, flow of speech. So we already know we got a female and someone with reddish hair, auburn hair, that's red hair. Flow of speech, larger person at times, and I'm not sure what that word is, phlegmatic. Short arms, fleshy hands, of immutable condition. Often moving from place to place, seldom contented, neither delighting much in action nor idleness. Mothers, stepmothers, women in the person's life should be considered as a suspect. So we have a woman directly connected to Chiron. We know this is Chiron because the AC line rules Cancer and the moon rules Cancer. That's Chiron. Now we know from his natal chart that water is involved in this child's ending. And right here in the 8th house of death, we have drugs and drowning. Delusion and lies, part of his death. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. It's pretty amazing how astrology gets. You can buy Kirsty McIntosh's book on Amazon. It's not that expensive. So, I mean, you guys can do this too. And this is not my psychic opinion. This is not tarot cards. This is not me just making this stuff up, okay? So this is how you figure out what happened to somebody that you care about. Right here, it's saying that water is going to be involved in his death. And on the event chart, we have water in the 8th house of death. Water, drugs, or drowning. Delusion and lies. That's what that planet means. Neptune. Water, drugs, drowning, delusion, and lies connected to a female with reddish hair. That would be a matriarch, stepmother. That's how clear it is. That's how clear this stuff gets. All right, I just wanted to share this with you about this little blurb here about auburn hair and stepmothers. I think that's pretty amazing. All right, you guys take care. Take care of one another. I'm going to update this and just, try to combine these two videos together. I'm sorry I missed it out. I always miss a few things. These charts are very complicated, and I try to add it in as much as I can. So I wanted to add this as well so you guys know what the planets are saying about a suspect involved in Chiron's disappearance. All right, much love to you all. Bless be. Bye-bye.